Learn to season your own food and drink water from your own well. Now y'all like, what's he talking about? What's good? What's going on, my skin post? Welcome to the channel. Go ahead and subscribe and share, get the word out, comment. We need to get the discussions going. Share love. Let's talk about it. Now, I I'm extremely cognizant that this message is only for a few men that are awakened to the environment. Okay. Now, when you're born, you just kind of go about life learning, how to do school, how to do college, how to do work, how to do love. You're just giving them things automatically, and you just absorb them based on the environment that you're around. And not there's not many real lessons that you attain or glean from school. I People cannot argue with me on the basis of the fact that when you was in school, you did not learn about budgeting and investment. You did not learn that. You did not learn about personal hygiene, unless you're extremely lucky. You went to a regular school. You did not learn that. Okay, so you just get given the script of life and you do what you do. Now, if you are an awakened man, a man who's aware around in 2024, you start to see that there's a problem around us. There's bickering and fighting, across genders, sexes, and everything else. We cannot ID what's the woman and the nuclear family. The woman is like, I don't need no man, and we have all these toxic elements at us. Okay, so what's a man to do? What's a man to do? And this message, I crafted this message specifically for the purpose of food and water. Why am I saying that? Because it's not common knowledge that we don't even know. We cannot deal with it. What's a woman? You ask somebody, what's a woman? Well, it depends, and they're going to give you some type of complex response as though it's something that's ever been complicated as a people we've always known. But when I say learn to season your own food, I've grown up into a culture where you just go to the supermarket and get what you need to get. Okay, these days you cannot know what you're eating, and somebody up there is puppeting that you're gonna eat things contrary to what you think you're eating. Okay, so if you are somebody who's just used to that city life, you just go to the store, to the shops and buy food from the shelves. Soon you won't even know. Okay, for the most part, we don't even know what you're eating. Some of these things they call it chicken this, chicken that, nuggets and so forth, but you don't know what you're eating. So why is this important that I'm talking about food and water? It's because a woman is when she's born pretty, when she's a little girl, they say, hey, she's very cute. And she gets that privilege and it's built up upon her. And when she reaches maturity, dudes be hollering and she's got high value. A man doesn't come into value much later in his life. So if you are not being healthy and careful with your food and your water, if you're not being intentional as to how you move food wise, water wise, you may find yourself at the time when you attain some type of prominence within your life, some type of, let's say you get a little bit of money, you find that your health is not right. You know, it's a given. Very few people become big at age 20. Influencer, got money flowing. Most of us have had to struggle. I'll be 42 in October. Have I enjoyed some success? Yes, I have. But I've noticed that most majority of men there we're slow starters. We figure things out later because oftentimes things are hard for us. A woman can be being flown out at age 18, and we don't want to hear that word 18, but that's the truth. We want to hear 23, 24. But these things I've known. I was in the fashion world for 12 years, so I do know these things. So she gets to get the best of the world early on. We get to enjoy our latter years. But if our latter years are contaminated because of the things we eat now is wrong. So what do you do? Well, if you don't live on land, it's hard to control. You have to find somebody who's doing that. We have to be very intentional as to how we feed. Season your own food. Drink your own water. If there's a village where there was town water, you would have to dig your own well. That's an analogy, by the way. You would have to dig your own well, even though I have my own well in Africa because I have a farm there. So I believe we've come to a stage where we cannot trust those who are caretakers, governing bodies, to do the right thing because they're in cahoots with those that are food producers. And if the big department stores or supermarkets are the ones really running the farms and they run for profit and they're not really concerned about the individual, how are you supposed to enjoy your lot of years as a man? Because that's when you're going to get your success. Imagine struggling all your 20s, 30s, let's say 35, 36, and then you start to get up to be a little bit on the up and up, and all of a sudden you got a health issue that you could have been avoided because maybe you're eating too many food that contains certain things. I'm not going to be specific about anything today because it's unnecessary. We all know that the majority of people are naive to what they're eating. So your health has to be paramount because if you had $1 million in your account and you are unwell, bedridden, what good is $1 million? You'd rather be a broke man who's moving around the streets. Season your own food, drink your own water, be knowledgeable as to what you're eating, be knowledgeable what you're drinking. So that means that for some of y'all, and that's why I said I'm very cognizant that this message is only for the few. The majority are going to dismiss it because it's far too much to do, right? Like I said, I have a farm in Africa, I have a farm in Zambia, which is where I'm from. How is it possible that I did that? Because I understood that we're coming to a time where there's fake meat. Things are not what you think they are. We all know this. Innately, we know this, bro, because of complacency and routine. And so other people use the word matrix. We're caught up in a system where you think, what's a little person like me going to do? So you have to transition is how you eat. Take control of that. Okay, because back in the day, people grew what they ate, and they were battered, they were trading and everything else. I believe it's going to be time for us to do that because the large corporations are not in our favor. So what's this got to do with men masculinity? Well, that's the thing. We come into prominence much later in our years. So if your health is dilapidated, what good are you? What good is getting all the money and arguing with all them women you argued all this time and you finally got a little bit of money and you are unwell of something you could have controlled? So, as a man, a responsible man, I dropped a little short about the VIP man. You need to make sure that when you're getting to that part where you're supposed to be enjoying your money is now getting just right. You will have the health to enjoy it, the brain capacity, because some food destroy your mind, some water is contaminated. So if you're not taking charge of that, and you ask me, well, what am I supposed to do? Figure it out. You're a man. If that was a challenge I put in a class for young children, okay, I've got a body of water here. This is town water, and you need to find a solution because town water is contaminated. Would you find a solution? I believe you would. You're grown. You're a man. Okay, so I figure it out. Some people it means traveling, relocating, and everything else, but learn to season your own food. In other words, grow your own food. Take charge of your own resources in that regard, and you may even live a healthier, happier life. And it's actually going to be more challenging in a dating circle because some people don't move like that in terms of females. They want that city life, but that will filter a whole lot of people out. So learn to season your own food and drink your own water because if you don't take charge of what you're putting in your mouth, your latter years may not be as enjoyable as you think. Because we talk about men coming prominence when in their 40s. Well, what good are your 40s if you're sick? This message is important for those few that will take action because I know the majority won't. And this channel is not about numbers, really, it's about quality. So learn to season your own food and drink your own water. If there's a such thing as town water, you ain't a part of that because you understand that somebody higher up may be putting, I want to influence the people. How can we influence masses? Maybe let's put something in the water. How can you influence masses in terms of food? Put something in the food in the supermarket, but you won't look different. You're gonna move differently because you understand that it's a new day as far as the world is concerned. It's been a new day for a long time, and it's not for the good of you as a man. If women have been armed against you, fighting against you on basic things, as a man, shaming you, name calling, you know, you can't just do your thing if you're possible. People are gonna call you out and expect you to do certain things. What more is the higher system doing against you behind your back? Okay, take responsibility for what you put in your mouth and what you're drinking, because the large corporations, they ain't your friends. If the very thing that you admire and desire, such as a woman, is against you, I'm not saying women are toxic and against us, but we do know this narrative of what's going on online, and it's rubbing off into the other parts of the world. It's very evident as somebody travels quite a whole lot. All right, I've said enough. Hopefully, you glean something out of this. Peace, love, and blessings.